Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to check fresh release from Miniart. It is available for some time, but I would say it is fresh because it is part of the Railway series, and it copies Soviet Railway Wagon Teplushka in 1/35 scale, obviously. So it might be a handy addition for some interesting diorama, be it with some railroad or maybe with some armored vehicles. Still, you will be able to get a really decent build out of this kit. And here we have a commercial sample, so it means you will get exactly the same stuff as what you'll see in this video review. We are going to open it and check everything closer. First of all, box size is typical for this series. Here you can see comparison with my hand, and box art looks really good. Next, on the side we have address of the manufacturer and barcode. Address might be handy in case you want to visit them. And on the opposite side we can see 7 marking options as far as you can see. So these markings should be included, but we will see them further in this review. So let's open it. It's a top opening box, and here is what we have inside. All frames are packed into the same plastic bag, and it is a sealed plastic bag. So just give me a second. I will use scissors in order to open it. Here we have assembly manual on the bottom, but obviously we will be checking it a bit later. So just give me a sec. And I want to check one thing, just give me a second. Okay, I'll remove this plastic sprues. Remove box to the side. And we start our review. So here we have first component. It's a small envelope with Miniart logo. So usually here we get some P thread. This kit is not an exclusion. Here we get 2 P threads. So here you can see what is included here. And these are decent additions for fine detailing. I think it's a more than welcome bonus out of the box, so I really recommend to use it. I know some modders are not that in favor of metal on their models, but it's really worth trying it, installing it on your kit. Here we have decals sheet, so we zoom in a bit. This decals sheet is printed in Decograph, so it should be really nice and easy to use. And in my opinion, there is nothing else to say, because these huge red crosses can be copied with masks, of course. So if you would like to go in this way, you can use masks and avoid applying huge decals. So we can move on to the next plastic sprue. Okay, so next we go on with first gray plastic sprue. Here it is. Let's zoom out a bit, and now you should be able to see it. So here we have huge panels, and they will be handy for walls for this wagon. Of course, main frame will be assembled out of these separate bars, so be ready for this. But I think it won't be such a difficult task to do, so don't be worried about this. And I mean, we can move on to the next plastic sprue. Okay, as for the next plastic sprue, it is supplied in 4 pieces, but there are several different ones. So, okay, let's check first this first type. Here again we have 4 panel, and note that it is also supplied with wood texture, so it might be handy for some weathering for more realistic appearance. And in my opinion, it's a nice feature of this kit, because some kits come with plain panels which do not look, I would say, realistic at all, but here we get it with some wooden texture, so some modders will be able to replicate it in a more convincing way with help of painting and finishing. Okay. Next we go on with 2, 3, 4 identical plastic frames. Here they are. They carry the same parts, so we will check only one. Here it is. Here we have parts for the front and rear section of the wagon. As you can see, these are these connecting points which will be used on the train, and they look as nice as previous parts, but here you have to combine some halves together. For example, here, and you can notice that inside there are no guiding pins, but here we have some guiding pins, so it's really interesting parts design. And here is the guiding element. This pin will work as a guiding element, so might be handy during the build, but molding quality looks fine, so I don't have any complaints here. It's just a matter of parts design, but I think it is not as horrible as it might sound to be. Next we go on with 4 more sprues. I guess some minor elements will be supplied in such packages because they are installed from both sides. That's why we get 2 pairs of each. And here you can see these parts for suspension of this wagon. So again, these are quite thin and tricky parts. Don't overestimate their durability, let's say, so don't apply excessive pressure, because otherwise you will end up with broken parts. And thin parts from Miniart are really tender, and we all know this, and there is no point to hide it, so just keep it in mind. Just give me a second, I will remove one plastic string here. And next we continue with 4 more sprues. This one carries Roadwheels. So these are large one-piece parts. As you can see, I'm actually happy to see that each wheel is molded on 3 attachment points only. And if you flip it over here, you can see this part from the opposite side. It looks really nice. So it's just a matter of careful painting. Of course, here everything will have to be polished for more convincing appearance. And next you will see what I was actually naming as 2 other sprues. So here you can see almost the same set of sprues as we saw in the beginning, but as you can see there is one more added here. So it is another panel. It will be a side panel as far as I can understand, and it also carries some wooden texture, so I think it will look decent in the installed state, let's say. Next we have this special oven, let's say. Just give me a second to zoom in a bit. Yeah, now you should be able to see it. So it's a separate part, and it was used to keep the interior warm. As you can see, there is some molded in details as well, which is really cool. Out of the box you get such detailing, so I really appreciate such attention to tiny details. And assembly process should be relatively easy, so no worries, even though it might look really small. Next we go on with front and rear panels. They are supplied on 2 plastic sprues, so we can zoom out a bit. Now you should be able to see it. So here again we have wooden texture, and also here of course you will have to remove these bars. This is really interesting because we have triangular cutouts, and if you flip it over here you can notice that pre-molded details are present from both sides. So no worries, it's not just like one side is pre-molded and one side is plain and does not feature anything at all. Next we go on with 4 more plastic sprues. These ones are actually quite interesting, so just give me a second to place 3 of them aside. Here we get parts for railroad, so railway will be also supplied out of the box. It's a short, I would say, section of the railroad, but still it is cool to display, to use as a display for this wagon. So definitely assemble it, build it, and install your wagon on these parts, not just on some plain surface or even without any, I would say, base. Next we go on with 2 identical plastic frames, so I will show you again only one. As you can see, this whole set is a matter of similar sprues combined together, because basically it's symmetrical from both sides, so that's why you get a lot of similar elements. And here we have the I guess these are 4 panels. Here we have main frame parts again, and also some minor elements for the frame detailing. But you'll see how it all assembled in assembly manual, obviously. Next we go on with last gray plastic sprue. So here again we get front and rear panels, top, roof panel, and also some frame parts here. This large bar is also present here. Okay, as you can notice, there are no clear parts whatsoever because they were not present on the real wagons as well, so it's not an error. It is a real feature of these wagons. Okay, so here we go on with assembly manual. It is printed in form of this small brochure, actually typical size for Miniart, and we have short list of the features on the first page. Here we have 3 marking options. They come from 1942, 1933, and 1944, actually 1942 to 1944. Here we get parts map. There are no, I would say there is no mention of parts which are not used in this kit, which is not that cool. I wonder why they don't do this. Here we have small posters which might be placed on the wagon, also some mottos which are also placed on the wagons, but I would rather replicate them with some masks template in order to get a more convincing finish, but it is up to you. And assembly process starts with the main frame, then we assemble wheel axles, then all these bars are combined together in order to get the proper structure of the frame. As you can see, there are a lot of parts to glue together from both sides, and actually it will be a repetitive task again and again because of the symmetrical nature of this wagon. So as you can see, the same part gets assembled twice, the same part gets assembled 4 times, and here, by the way, you can see the stove. And all these parts get combined into this boxy structure, and as far as you can see, it should be relatively easy to get all this stuff together because it's a matter of careful alignment, and that's pretty much all. Here we install the roof panels, and again, roof panels will have to be detailed inside as well because you can open the doors on the wagon, so interior will be visible on the finished model as well. So you should consider adding some detailing or some features and details. And note the door is not glued here into the place, so maybe it will be even movable, which is really cool. Next we continue with the stops and the railway section. As you remember, here we can see the last step. It's actually 37th, where you install the wagon on the rails. Next we go on with 4th and 5th marking option. Another page brings us 6th and 7th space chart in several manufacturer designations. Here we have some other wagons in 1/35 scale. You can find their video reviews on our YouTube channel as well. And on the last page you can see some railroad accessories, which might be handy for more convincing railroad diorama if you would like to build it in 1/35 scale. So as I said, this kit should be already available. I think you can get it on ModeliMax webshop, of course. And I will be happy to hear your opinion about this kit. Write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye!